And why are you here today?
Look, we're here because Americans don't bow down to hostage-taking tactics. Our young men and young women are fighting overseas right now to stand up to people who threaten innocent populations with catastrophic damage to get their way. Why should we have that happening in our capital? We don't believe in that in America. We're standing up to the hostage-taking tactics. We don't believe that we are a country that is broke, that has to be stampeded into chopping up our grandparents' program. Listen, America does not have a deficit because we help grandmama too much. We're not in a deficit because of Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. We're in a deficit because of the Bush tax cuts and the Bush wars. If you want to do something about the deficit, do something about that. But leave our grandparents alone, leave our mothers alone. Let us go on and have the American dream and make sure that people who are wealthy folks get a chance to be a part of helping with the solution.
And what tactics are you talking about?
Well, listen, when any faction in America that would put a gun to the head of 310 million people and say, if you don't do it our way, we will blow your dreams away. We will blow a hole in the American economy. That is un-American. That is not how we do business, and we refuse to bow down to those kind of bully tactics.
Any specifics on that?
Well, specifics like they're saying that if they don't get the Tea Party is saying if they don't get their way, they will refuse to have America pay our bills. If America becomes a deadbeat nation, we're finished as a first-rate power. And nobody should threaten that kind of harm to America and get away with it. That's why we're here. The American Dream Movement says you don't threaten America, you don't threaten the American people, and get away with it. It's wrong, it's immoral, we're not going to put up with it.
Do we trust both of these parties to be able to work on this issue, or do we need some change?
Hey, listen,
in both parties?
Here's the thing. Democracy is not about a politician, it's not about a party, it's about the people. You see out here more people than the Tea Party has produced in a year. That's what's happening in America. The real American patriots are standing up now. The real American patriots who love everybody in America, who aren't picking and choosing who they like and who they want to throw out off the bus. We are here now to speak up. We are not going to be bullied as Americans. You don't threaten America. You don't threaten the American people. You don't put a gun to the heads of the American people to get your way and get away with it, not in our country.
Is this the Van Jones revolution then?
There's no such thing. Listen, you know what this is? This is 60% to 70% of the American people who know better than this nonsense that's happening here. This is not, listen, the Tea Party represents a very small vocal minority. Most ordinary Americans, until this summer, until the president gave his speech, we're on summer vacation. Normal Americans are not sitting around all summer trying to figure out how to destroy America's economy. We were on summer break. We were trying to find non-toxic suntan stuff for our kids. We were doing normal American stuff in the summertime, and it turns out these people are up here threatening to destroy everything we care about so they can get their way. That's wrong, and that's why we're here.
But at what point do you lay the blame or responsibility at the president's feet for putting entitlements on the table in these debt negotiations?
Let me get this sweat out my face so I can be as pretty as he is. You see how good he looks? I got to get your deodorant. Anyway, so what was your question?
Looking at the social net programs, which you all are vowing to protect, at what point do you put the responsibility at the president's feet for putting those on the table?
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, first of all, the Movement for Hope and Change did not have a slogan called, Yes, He Can. The slogan was, Yes, We Can. I'm not mad at the end of the day that the Tea Party stood up and got loud. I'm mad that the 60 to 70% of normal Americans got so quiet. When D.C. will never be any better than the American people. It will never be more courageous. It will never be more idealistic. It will never be more sane than the American people. All the sane people have been going on with normal life, dealing with our children, and these other people, these extremists, have grabbed the microphone. We're grabbing it back. When that happens, both parties will act differently. The Tea Party, a small minority, grabbed the mic, and both parties act differently. Look at how many people are out here today. When we grab the microphone, both parties will also behave differently.
Well, how does the Democratic Party and the president have to act differently?
Hey, listen, everybody in this town needs to listen to the 60 to 70% of Americans who do not agree with destroying Medicare, destroying Social Security, destroying Medicaid. We don't have a deficit because we helped grandmama too much. That is not where the deficit came from. And so leave grandmama alone. That's our message.
How do you destroy Medicaid?
Listen, the cuts that they are proposing would be catastrophic for ordinary people. We got folks who, first of all, coming home from these wars with no jobs. There's no discussion of jobs. We have young people graduating off a cliff every spring, praying for an unpaid internship for 2 years. That's not right? These kids have worked hard. They deserve a chance to be a part of the American dream. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the stuff that ordinary Americans are suffering because they made up a phony crisis here to distract people. We're not falling for it. Take the gun away from the heads of the American people and let's focus on jobs. Thank you very much.
What does the furlough mean to the employees at the FAA?
Listen, the people who are being furloughed from the FAA are suffering because of political games here in D.C. The veterans coming home to no jobs are suffering because of political games here in D.C. The people whose homes are underwater and can't get any help or relief are suffering because of games in D.C. The focus should be on economic solutions, not inflicting more economic pain on the American people. That's what the American Dream Movement is all about. Thank you very much.
Representative